Welcome back, everyone, to the Checker Score podcast. This is the first edition of the All Access Pass segment, and today I'm joined by 5-1 MMA fighter Flynn O'Keefe. How are you?
Good. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm mate.
How's it going?
I'm glad you came on. When I was drafting like people who I think like would be nice to talk to, and then I was just thinking like, I've started to get into my MMA.
Yeah, you have. I remember when I met you at Buns, you were just like, you knew everything. I was like, fuck, this cunt knows a lot.
Yeah, but it's
that swear on you?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's kind of been something like maybe in the last 9 months. My first full card I think I watched was, I think it might have been Volk Islam 1.
Really?
That was the first.
Oh, yeah, because that was like a big Aussie G up. Yeah, that was a good one.
Full card I watched, and now I'm like,
I'm going to Perth. I mean, not Perth, Sydney.
Really?
Yeah, I got tickets.
What do you make of...
Oh, I think it's a bit of a shit card, eh?
Bro, they've not announced anything for the main card.
Well, I saw that Alex Pereira was like, he's like, see you soon, Sydney. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
I think every man and their dog would
I know, eh? But the card's kind of trash, to be honest. Dricus du Plessis, he's a good champion and he's actually entertaining as fuck. And Sean Strickland's like, I don't know, like me personally, I like him, but it's just the way he talks doesn't back up his fighting style.
Yeah.
Like his fighting style is very boring.
Yeah.
And he talks like he's this maniac psycho guy, but he's actually not.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I remember watching that Costa fight.
Yeah, it was just boring. Like, don't get me wrong,
it wasn't until the 5th round when he wanted to turn it on. Like,
I know, it's kind of dumb, but du Plessis is fucking entertaining as fuck, bro. No one gives him credit for like how actually funny he is.
Big shit stirrer.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a funny guy, and he's a normal guy. Like if you actually like watch him, the way when he fought Izzy, that was just so funny how he was just putting shit on him.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
but
the card's kind of trash, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think it's them two as a main event, and then Zhang Weili versus
Tatiana Suarez.
Is that Tatiana Suarez? She's like a good
undefeated
little girl. Is she? That's crazy. And then there's like a few.
I heard the rumor. I wish this would get booked. I don't think it's going to get booked.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
Gaethje Hooker.
Oh, was that the rumor? I was talking about Della Usman. That's not getting done, but because Jack Della got like a.
People are saying Edwards JDM
is in March, yeah, and then Paddy Michael Chandler. That'd be a good fight, eh?
I heard Paddy BSD.
Benoit. Yeah, maybe. Oh, nah, I don't think.
Because then he gets a rank, Paddy, if he wins.
Yeah, but he also wanted to fight that Renato Moicano.
I think Moicano.
People don't like Paddy the Batty. I fucking love him, mate. I think he's so cool. That I'm a Scouser lad.
I hate Scousers. That's
really.
Because I was telling you just before. I don't like I'm a football guy.
Oh, who do you go for?
United.
Man.
Yeah,
me too.
United, so.
I'm not really into soccer though. I used to play when I was a kid, but like I wasn't that good. I played for Rams like 1 year and then got dropped, so I wasn't that good.
I've been in that scene my whole life, but yeah, the MMA scene is just definitely something like I'm kind of invested in it now.
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy, man, that like.
If you get into something, you get into something, eh?
I like when I get an obsession, I like hyperfixate on it. But also on top of that, obviously you actually fight. I could never. It's not me, bro. Like,
don't like violence?
It's not like. Look, not like I don't like violence, but man, it's always the saying like you can throw a punch but you can't take one.
Yeah. It's weird, but like people think getting hit's like a bad thing. It actually, me personally, I like it. Like I actually kind of like getting a bit of brain damage.
Makes you feel alive a bit.
Yeah, when I fight, I don't really I don't really get hit that often. Like that's not my fighting style.
Yeah.
But like training and stuff, I love like punching on and like having to scrap a little bit, to be honest.
No, that's good.
So yeah.
But yeah, kind of the first thing I wanted to touch on was obviously the most recent thing, which is your most recent fight.
Yep.
That was, look.
Did you watch?
Yeah, I watched the finish.
The highlights?
I only watched the finish. Oh, is that all good?
Yeah, I'll just put it up a little bit.
Yeah,
there you go.
You know, I watched the finish. I didn't see the whole fight. I just saw what you put on your Instagram. And when I saw it, I was like, man, like it really impressed me, especially because I know at least with the kind of class of fighters that are at your gym, more
strikers
on feet.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you submitted someone, I'm like, damn, it's like showing all like elements.
Exactly. To go into it, fuck. So me last one. So I'll just give you the whole shebang, mate.
I was gonna say, even give the whole. If you want to go into like what the camp was like, I don't mind.
Yeah. So leading up to, I started my whole career at 18. I had 4 fights in 12 months.
Yep.
And then I got myself pretty high up in like the amateur scene.
Yep.
So Australian MMA is starting to get like quite big.
Oh, yeah.
And like the local scene's starting to get like a bit more revenue, and especially for the amateurs as well. It depends like what type of amateur you are as well. So, but me coming from like a good gym, I had Lachlan and Caleb, my older training partners. Yeah. They were like very high level. So I kind of had like a few eyes on me. Just like this kid's going to be something good. And I'd fought since I was about, I think 14. I'd been fighting. So everyone kind of like knew of me in the scene. I was that little kid that was like always around.
Yeah.
And so I went 12 months, 4 fights, 4 wins. I think 2 finishes, maybe 3 finishes actually.
Yeah. No.
3 finishes I went, I think. Yeah. 3 finishes, 1 decision. And yeah, so after that, the 12 months, I was starting to get like, oh, this kid's pretty good. Let's give him like a bit of a test. So I got offered a title fight on the cards in Melbourne that I was fighting on for this promotion. They're like the Ascension that's also changed, it's very political, but the promotion that I was fighting on was known as like one of the best amateur shows in the country. So I always had like the best amateurs on, and then I got offered a title fight on that show against the #1 ranked amateur in the featherweight division, which was Jet Fisher. I think he was like 9-1.
Yeah.
So my mindset was, I'll fight anyone, anywhere. I want to be the best, so I'm going to be the best. And then I took that fight, and then that camp for that was horrible. Like I had to cut a lot of weight. I was getting a lot bigger. Me making featherweight wasn't really like a possibility anymore. But because it was a title fight, I was like, I'll just do it. I don't care. So that fight was happening. Fight week, he pulled out. And then his brother stepped in.
I heard about this.
Yes, his brother stepped in. And his brother's actually a completely different style to him. Not really that it's an excuse that I lost. I only lost by split decision as well.
Really?
So
okay.
one judge thought I won.
It didn't get finished, which is
No,
good.
not at all.
I think that's
It was a great fight, great scrap. I did lose. Like if I watch it back, I'm like I lost. Some people, everyone I know tells me, oh, I thought you won that fight. But that's just bias. They watch it and they're like, if you watch it properly and score it, I did lose that fight, which is fair enough. But so I lost that fight. Not an excuse. I lost it fair and square. I did have a really rough weight cut. Yeah. If I fucking showed you some photos of what I looked like, it was absolutely horrible. I had a really rough weight cut. I think I cut 5 kilos in about 4 hours, which was not the best for me. And the camp, I started the camp at 78 kilos and I got down to 66 in 6 weeks, which is not the healthiest thing to do ever, to be honest.
That is disgusting. I was going to talk about this later, but we may as well touch on it now. The weight cut. Man, you see some of these weight cuts in the UFC, and like I can only imagine, obviously, someone on a lower scale trying to do the same thing. It's
exactly.
Brutal, especially if you're like
don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, like it might be your first time.
Trying to cut
weight. Just those sorts of things, like the things you don't even think about, and it's like.
Yeah, the stuff that people just don't see.
Yeah,
and people just don't understand
it. A lot of
it.
it's all water.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there's a big process behind it. Yeah. But the thing is, people just don't see like the stuff that goes on in the background to this fight camp. I'm not complaining. I enjoy it. Like I love it. Without a little risk and sacrifice, there's no reward.
Oh, absolutely.
So like you have to go through it to do it. But yeah, the weight cut process, man, I didn't really understand it all. I thought I'll cut a lot of weight and I'll be a massive guy versus midgets, and that will be great for me and it will be easy wins.
Yeah.
And then that last fight, having that performance, having that feeling in the camp leading up to that fight, I'd never felt so like low in a point in life. Not as in like mental health wise, but more like body wise, like health wise. I remember I used to have to like drink 2 Red Bulls to get to training. And then I'd go to training and I still couldn't even train. Like people, and the thing is like, I didn't tell anyone. I'm just like, oh, this just must be natural. Yeah. And it's just like, I didn't tell anyone. And I was like, I feel so bad, bro. And I don't know how to describe it, but like I honestly went through so much in a 6-week fight camp. But the thing is, I had in my brain, I'm going through all this and I'm going to win and it's going to pay off. And then that didn't even happen. But I'm still glad that I lost and had that experience of now knowing that I have the lesson learned of, okay, let's not cut weight like a dickhead and risk feeling horrible just for 4 kilos. Yeah. So now, leading into this, my last fight, I moved up to lightweight, which was a big thing because I'd fought at featherweight for so long. And some of these lightweights are big guys. I'm like, all right, I'm all right size, but I'm not a massive guy. So I moved up to lightweight, which was like a thing. After the last fight, I took a lot of time off because I'd done 4 fights. Yep. That being my 5th fight would have been in like the span of 14 months. Yep. So I took that time off really to just first of all, I got fat as fuck. Got up to like 90 kilos, I think, which isn't the best. But that's me just being undisciplined, which was kind of shitty from me. But I was still training, and I just really wanted to redevelop some skills. Yeah. Because once you go in all these fight camps, there's no time for developing skills. And if you're doing a 6-week fight camp, 3 weeks after you win, whatever, break, and then it's like, all right, we got another one. And then it's just getting fit, getting into good shape. So there's no time in between that to develop skills. And when you're upping in competition, it's a bit harder to keep up. You have to keep leveling up your skills. Yeah. So I took a lot of time off of fighting, not of training. Yeah. So I just didn't go in the cage for about, what was it? It was a good while. I think I had like 6 months off without fighting, which is really weird for me. Yeah. And I didn't like it at the start, but I realized, oh my God, I'm getting so much better. And I just focused on training and skill development, and it just made me get a lot better. Yeah. Like and then, needed it. I needed it. It was so needed. And it's just, you go through bumps and you like, it's funny. You hear all these people talk and they're like saying, I always thought, fuck that, I don't need that. No one's advice or this or that, but you do. And leading into this fight, I took this fight, moving up to lightweight. I got a good opponent. I think, what was his name? Torum Mercury, something like that. I don't know. He was 4-1 or 3-1. I can't remember, but he's something and 2 now. But he's something and 2 now. But he was a good opponent. I did a good training camp, moving up to lightweight, and just me moving up to lightweight just felt so much better. So much happier. Life was just so much better, and my performance was the best.
I feel like you'd still be a decently sized lightweight.
I'm alright.
You're taller. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm walking around like 79 kilos right now. Yeah, that's out of shape, but as well. Yeah, but I'm tall, but I'm not as strong, and because I'm so young as well, a lot of these guys have like the guy I fought, that Turum guy. I've been fighting bloody adult since I was like 14. Yeah, a lot of these guys are like a little bit older. Like the guy I fought was like 26. They just have a bit more man strength than me. I'm only 19. I'm still developing a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. So, that's the only concern we had. But now I've got a good strength and conditioning program, and I'm trying to put on a bit of muscle and stuff. So, yeah, that's about it. Yeah. And then, the last fight was like, honestly, my best performance ever. And that was the first time in my whole career of fighting where I've ever enjoyed being in there. I usually not let the nerves get to me. I'm a very confident person, and I like the spotlight. But I don't know how to describe it. If you've never fought, you won't understand it. But being in there and understanding what's going on, such a hard thing to do. Yeah. And then with the pressure of the actual fight, and you have to beat someone physically, it's a very hard thing to do. But this was the first time ever where I've been in there and I've been like, oh my God, I'm fucking so excited to just punch on right now. Yeah. Yeah. So.
I'm surprised, especially you'd think you'd be a bit more nervous when you're moving up weight class. You're like, damn, this is a bigger bloke. It's like that's at least how I would have seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly you're confident in the way you've been training, because obviously you're going in there knowing you haven't just smashed 2 Red Bulls.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I mean, the weight thing wasn't really a big deal, because I knew I trained with guys so much bigger than me all the time and stuff. So it wasn't really that much of a big deal, but it was just the fact of it was just such an eye opener for me. And now I hope to go into every fight like that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's just a lesson learned for me and a chapter in my life. Yeah.
You were talking about upping your skills. But as we're saying, you obviously submitted the bloke. Was it round 1?
Round 2.
Round 2 submission.
I was beating the shit out of him in round 1. But pretty bad.
I need to watch the whole fight. I feel like I need to actually.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after. But
beautiful.
It was just like a mismatch of skills. Even though this guy, me and him had, I think, the same record. I was 4-1 going into that. I can't remember his. It was either 3-1 or something. And he'd beat pretty good guys. I think he was on a 3-fight finish streak. Yeah. And it was just it was a different level, which is a really good feeling. Yeah. So,
your topology says 3-1 as well. I know it's
it's weird. I don't know. I had some fights in Queensland. It's certain it hasn't even updated it from the last fight. Yeah. So it's weird. I don't know. But I am 5-1.
I believe you, mate. But with the upping your skills part, obviously the wrestling side of it. And I think you were saying that you had a bit of a relationship with Ken Valley Wrestling and Gracie. Yeah. How did those guys over there kind of elevate your game?
Oh my God. Absolutely insane progression since I've been there. So Camden Valley, Gracie, Rob Whittaker, obviously, Alex Pratt, Jacob Malcoon, all those guys, they have a pro team. I have sessions at 2, maybe not tell the times, but we have sessions there, and I wasn't really, they only invite good people. If you're gonna help and improve,
they're circle type.
Yeah, if you're gonna they're not just going to invite anyone. Like a beginner can't show up to that class.
Absolutely.
Like you have to kind of be respected in the scene. Not respected, but you have to have good skills. So my wrestling wasn't really up with them, but my striking was because I'm a very good striker. And so my coach Nathan talked to, and my other coach Mo, he talked to them and said, hey, we got Flynn, because I've sparred with a few of them before, and a few of them came over to our gym and said, hey, like, can Flynn jump into sessions? And because I quit my job last year. Wait, no, last year, 2023, in October.
What were you doing?
I was a Sparky for 4 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I quit school at 14 or 15. Yeah, I left Greg's at 15, I think. Year 9, I left school.
Greg's, okay.
I went to Greg's, yeah. I left school and quit my job, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to do this fighting shit full time. And I'm now a PT, so I'm a personal trainer. So it's not full time, but the thing is, like, my PTs work around my training.
Yeah, that's good.
So that Gracie is like full-time fighters, guess, go there. So yeah, I got in with Camden Valley, and ever since then I've just been part of the family. They've treated me so well and helped me get so much better, and I'm levels behind all of them in the grappling sense, but I'm starting to get a bit better.
I feel like that's a good thing though. Like,
yeah, it's great
because it's like
I have something to chase. It's perfect.
Exactly. It's like the common saying, it's like when you're running with someone who's quicker than you, keep up
catching up to them. Yeah. But honestly, going over there, I realized like, oh my god, I'm not that good at grappling. I've always been all right. Like I've got a few submissions, but just the level is so much different. Like I mean, for starters, they got Rob fucking Whittaker, one of the best MMA fighters ever.
Yeah.
They got Jacob Malcoon, Izzy, Jaden Lawrence. I don't know if you know Jaden Lawrence.
Nah, I'm not.
He was
familiar with that. Like
the second ever Australian to represent Australia in freestyle wrestling in the Olympics. He got in the last Olympics. So. And the wrestling coach is insane there. Just Alex Peratt is insane. Like the system of it's just hard work and grinding and I love it. It's amazing. So just going there 3-4 times a week has absolutely helped me up my wrestling game so much. And now I'm kind of becoming a little bit of a grappler. Like now I feel really comfortable in like the sense that I can take someone down and finish them, but no one wants to see people hug. So
I was gonna say, you even look at the MMA scene now. Look at like the champions and the guys that are contending.
Yeah, mainly grapplers.
They're pretty much all grapplers.
Exactly.
It's like, or at least if they're not a grappler, they're kind of the new gen with like guys like Ilya.
Exactly.
Who can just do everything.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. That's what I aim to be like. My coach told me before my last fight, I was like, fuck, I want to go in there and take this cunt down, and like pound his head off the canvas, laying on top of him. He's like, don't show people you're a grappler unless you have to. Like, don't grapple someone if you don't have to, because it's boring.
That's kind of what Ilya is,
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
He's like, if I can finish people on feet, I'll finish people on feet. But if I need to go to the ground, I will.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, that's what's getting so good about MMA now, is it's like the skill set are getting so much better. Like, Ilya is saying, like, he's a new generation, which he fucking is.
Yeah.
And it's insane to watch, like, he took down Max Holloway and then knocked him out. It's like, fucking hell, man. And it's not just like, oh, wrestler versus striker anymore. It's getting pretty good, man.
Yeah, no.
So.
Yeah, because I was talking to one of my mates. He actually had a few just Dewey sessions at Triple X, and he was.
Which one? What's it?
His name's Bailey. He was here on last week.
Was he?
Yeah, he does. He just like on a. I think it was on a Monday or a Tuesday. Just like nothing too.
Been going for a while?
Nah, he's not got. I think he stopped.
Okay,
for a bit, but he was going for a little bit. But even he was saying like, bro, there's no such thing as a striker versus a wrestler anymore, bro. It's just next gen, and everyone just can do everything.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone knows how to wrestle, but it's fucking boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the hardest sport in the world as well.
I agree. But one of the things, I listened to the podcast, Lucas podcast.
Yeah.
Great interview. Great bloke. He clearly knows
he was pretty
especially good. The underground MMA stuff.
Yeah, because he was pretty good because he interviewed all like Australian MMA fighters, gave a bit of spotlight, which is good.
No, he's doing some good stuff over there. But one of the things that one of the quotes that you said is that your first training session at Triple X, you said that you had your ass handed to you on the first session, and you were adamant that you wanted to go back. I don't know how, I don't know if this is just me and my personality type, but I'm just like, no way. Like, if I got cleaned up.
See, the thing is, I probably did say that, and I probably said that as in, like, everyone says that, like, I got bashed. But I do remember, like, going in there and being like, fuck, I'm kind of good at this. Like, obviously I got bashed by the people that were so much better than me.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember my delusional ass at 13 years old was probably like, yeah, but, like, a few years of training, I'd be all right at this, to be honest. Yeah. So, I mean,
anything, right? You try something for the first time.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, I'll get there.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I always, not glass half full, glass half full, not empty. I mean, I got punched, but I punched a few people, so that's how I look at it.
Yeah, literally. obviously we touched on your fight, but I want to take it like right back to the start.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go way, way back. And the first thing before you even kind of every kid who wants to get into fighting kind of thinks of is their fighter name. How did you get Pretty Boy?
I kind of gave myself it, to be honest.
Really?
They were like, you need a name, and I was like, fuck, I think I'm good looking.
Fair enough.
Everyone kind of knows me as like a fucking confident guy and like this and that. We're trying to get me a new one.
Okay.
I want a new one.
Okay.
I don't like the Pretty Boy. They were just like, you want a name, and like they're like, you need to have a fighter name, and I was like, the promotion when you're sending in all your details, and I was just like, fuck it, the Pretty Boy sounds pretty cool. If I wanted to be called something, I'd be called the Pretty Boy.
Yeah.
But fighters, like your coaches, like you can't pick your own name.
Yeah.
You have to get it given to you.
Yeah.
My coach really wants to call me the Pikey. You know what a Pikey is?
Nah.
It's like you ever watch Snatch?
No, I haven't.
It's like a movie about so what a Pikey is because I'm from Ireland.
Yep.
I wasn't born in Ireland, but my whole family's Irish. My dad's Irish. I have a very strong Irish heritage.
Yeah.
And a Pikey is someone that's like lives in a caravan park and like just like pretty much a junkie version of an Irish person is a Pikey, and they do stupid shit and like have underground fights and stuff.
Oh, that's so funny.
So my coach wanted to call me Flynn the Pikey O'Keefe. And I
don't even mind that. Like,
I don't like it at all. Because you need to think, like, my thing is, I'm thinking about it like money-wise.
yeah.
Like, I don't want to be called the fucking Pikey. That's just, I don't know. I don't like it, to be honest.
What is your favorite current fighter name? Like, it's from someone in the UFC.
Oh, fuck. That's actually a great question, eh?
Sugar Sean?
Yeah. I'm the biggest Sean O'Malley fan in the world, eh? Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Sugar Sean is the most common one that everyone goes on.
And it's the most marketable as well.
Yeah.
That's why it's the best.
People
Because he's sugar.
People just calls him Sugar Sean.
Exactly.
They don't call him Sean O'Malley or just O'Malley. It's always, Sugar Sean.
Yeah, Sugar Sean. That's actually a good one. Sugar Sean, definitely. Fuck, I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Oh, I just like...
I like
Poetan.
Sharma. Yeah, Poetan. Last Stylebender's pretty cool.
Yeah. It suits his personality.
It suits his personality.
Too.
That's what I mean. It's cool because like all these fighters, like they all suit their own person. Like Israel, I think he gave himself the last Stylebender, but that's because he did it for marketability.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
And then I think, I don't know if this is an Aussie bias thing, but Alexander the Great is.
No, I reckon that's shit as.
No way, no, because it's
I
obviously
reckon
the whole ancient Rome thing.
Yeah,
like
but I don't know. It's just
I
like plain
like
the Great. Nah, I don't know about that one.
Okay.
Eh?
But yeah, no,
There is some good ones, but
yeah, 100%. You could go all day on that. You mentioned you started the PTing stuff.
yeah.
And you do it one-on-one training.
Yeah, pretty much.
How's like that all started and like come about?
So pretty much like it's kind of a thing that like it's just common in fighters. If you know how to fight, you can teach someone how to fight. And me, I'm a very good coach.
Yep.
I like to think I'm a better coach than fighter, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to quit my job so bad because I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I hated like working, and I hated the trade system and everything like that. And I was horrible. I was such a bad Sparky. Like I just wasn't made for me. I wasn't made for like the work life system type of thing. And pretty much I was like I was leading into a fight, and my bosses fucking hated me. Eh? And I remember once my boss told me he's like my boss hated me so bad, and he knew like my family, which was really weird. And he had like, I don't know, it was weird. And he hated the fuck out of me. And this one time he told me, he's like, you will never become a successful athlete. He's like, you're too stupid. And I was like,
ooh.
Oh, that burned inside me, eh?
It's one of those things. It happens. You hear those stories so often with guys that make it, and it's like,
fuck you. Yeah, I can't wait to like be in the UFC one day and be like,
school
fuck
that told me I would never be.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. And then I was just like, and then I was working one day. I think I was like digging a trench, and then someone yelled at me, and I was like, fuck. I just had, that moment when you're at work and you're like, fuck this. And I actually did it. So I'd been thinking it for years, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to actually do it, eh? And then so I quit a week before one of my fights. And leading into this fight, I was versing a guy that was 6-4. And he was a brown belt. I think he was like an Australian purple or brown belt jiu-jitsu champion. And he was 6-4, and he was like the previous belt holder in the promotion. And I was 3-0 leading in. I was 3-0 leading into that fight. So I was fighting that guy, and that was like a big test for me to see. This was like the first guy of like, okay, let's actually see if Flynn's like pretty fucking good or not, or he's either gonna get crumbled,
Sink or
or
swim.
sink or swim pretty much. And I quit my job a week before that fight. I was like, I'm gonna beat this guy, and I'm gonna prove to everyone like I'm actually pretty good at this sport, and then I'm just gonna take these places. So I beat him pretty convincingly. It was just a decision win, but I still beat the shit out of him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I fucking quit my job, and I was like, oh well, I've got to start doing something for money because
absolutely.
world ain't free. And I just started up doing PTs, and now I've made it into like a semi bit of a business.
Yeah.
I've got like a good clientele roster going on, and I just do one-on-one PT coaching, and it just helps. I love it. I love coaching. It's so much fun. I love watching like people's skill develop, and I feel like I'm a really good coach because I can understand how to make people understand things in different ways.
Yeah.
Like you might understand how to throw a cross differently than James or someone like that.
Yeah.
So it's all just about understanding people and understanding how they learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's one of the most important things. That not even just in sport, just in everything.
Yeah, exactly.
People learn differently, whether it be in repetition, whether it be in
exactly.
something differently.
Yeah, like I had this guy.
I think it's important you can identify that early.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're teaching kids how you'd want to be taught, they're not actually learning.
There's certain things where it's like and it's different coaching styles as well. Like I really like to, like some PTs are just like, they'll hold pads for you and they let it be a fitness thing. But me, I'm a bit fucking autistic where I can't watch you throw a bad cross. Like I just can't let that happen in my own brain.
See, that's how I'd want to be taught.
Yeah, like
if,
I don't know.
If I'm doing something wrong and my coach is like wincing whilst I'm doing it.
Yeah, like I really just, like if I see someone doing something, I just can't, it's a deep thing inside me where it's just like, oh, because I like to think of myself, I'm a very technical fighter. Like I have really good crisp technique and some fighters don't have that, but they might know how to teach it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, it's pretty much just like, honestly, it's my favorite job that I've ever had.
Yeah.
But it's great because it works around my lifestyle.
It's good.
And I quit my job to fight, and the PTs isn't a job for me. It's support to my fighting.
That's good.
So yeah.
Do you feel like it helps your fighting? Like, do you feel like
no, not at all.
You reckon?
Oh,
like, do you reckon it like
it helps me be able to coach myself a bit better?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, kind of like it makes you learn about how.
It makes me understand.
You fight, like seeing.
Yeah.
Almost like when you see someone throw a cross, you see it like in still frames. Like you're like, oh, like that.
I mean, it's helped me get better at it, but what I already had what made me a little bit better than most people was my understanding of other people.
Yeah, yeah.
So I understand how the human body works and twitches a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but like if there's someone standing in front of me, say we're sparring, my thing is I know how to read people a lot better and I understand body movements and how people react to certain things. It's very like deep, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
So that's what made me a good fighter, understanding how to like read what people are doing in certain ways. So that's what it's helped me get better at it. Like take it to an even other level. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
And do you run that all out of Triple X? Like
pretty much. I do a few from home, do a few at other people's houses, but pretty much all in Triple X.
Yeah, that's good. And what's like obviously I said I watched that podcast and you were talking about the gym and stuff. Yeah. How's the relationship kind of just with you and everyone at that gym? Like Oh,
honestly, I don't know where I'd be without Triple X. Like I went there when I was 14. And as most gyms, you don't really get much love from the coaches in the first 2 years. If you stay around for a while, but me, as soon as I stepped in there, I was like, I know I want to do this like for a living or a sport.
Yeah.
And you don't really get much attention for the first 2 years because you're a beginner, you're shit. You don't deserve attention.
No.
You just need to go to the classes, pay your dues a little bit, get some time on the mats, and then you'll eventually get better. Yeah. And then you start getting a little bit more of attention.
Yeah.
And but ever since I started, man, like we just had such a good like family, our relationships were all better. I mean, the gym used to be we used to have a lot more fighters.
Yeah.
But it kind of just washed out, like people getting older.
Do you think that's a good or bad thing? Like, do you think
it's
focus on a smaller pool of people?
It's a lot better for me because I can kind of go in there and like right now where I'm currently in my position, like I'm one of the top people at the gym where it's like I'm one of the seniors, even though I'm so young, but like I'm one of the most experienced guys at the gym.
Yeah. Well, if you've been there since you're 13.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like I've been doing this for a while. Right? So. Yeah, pretty much. And like the family life we have at the gym. I mean, I'm sure you've heard from James. Like we're a gym where it's like this sport attracts weird people.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of these guys where it's like MMA is a weird sport, man. And like it attracts a little bit of like weird people. But our gym's really just like laid back, no bullshit. Yeah. Like obviously there's always going to be drama in gyms. Like it's just natural. Yeah. But our gym's very laid back and like Nathan, the owner of Triple X, honestly, the best human being in the world. My coach, Moe, gives so much of his time to people, does so much for us fighters. My coach, Aiden, him as well.
Yeah.
Like, all the guys there, all my training partners, like, we're all just one big family. It's honestly great. I love it. There's no place I would ever rather be. I was actually going to get it's like kind of a thing I have to do. I have to get the Triple X logo tatted on me somewhere because I've been there for like more than 5 years, I think. So
Yeah, nah, that's commitment then.
yeah, all my other teammates got it. I need to get it.
You're marked for life now.
Yeah, pretty much.
That. But yeah, no, I remember even James saying, because he joined the gym, I don't know how long ago. He's been fighting for a while.
Yeah, I know he was doing the karate stuff for a while.
Tudokan.
Yeah, Tudokan.
Yeah, and he was enjoying that, but I think it got a bit stale for him, and especially how long he'd been there for.
Most of those sports do. It's very repetitive, and you can't really break a ceiling much in those sports.
Yeah, I think, and for where he was at, he's kind of just needed a fresh start.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, he kind of found Triple X. And I remember even in the first month or two of when he was there, he's like, bro, I've learned so much more about myself as a fighter just from being in that sort of gym. And
it's good to like come and like I remember when the first time I went to Gracie, I was like, holy fuck, these guys are so much better than me. And James would have had the same thing. He would have came in and been like, oh my God, I've got so much skills to learn. But then it's like, you can either let that build you down or you can let that excite you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
And that's like either that crumbles people or it makes them want more. So you see a lot of people come and go in gyms a lot as well.
Yeah. No, I realised I got a bit sidetracked from what I was saying before about
sorry.
No, it's all good, bro. This is what it's all about. With going back to the start, obviously, we talked about the first day, and then you were saying to your mum that, yeah, this is what I want to do. How, like, the time between then and you getting your first fight, like, what does that look like in terms of just trying to hone in on your style, your technique?
That's actually a funny story.
Consistency, especially if you're working, right? Like, if you're working and trying to balance both things.
So I started, my mum says I was 14, but I'm certain I was 13. So I played soccer since I was like 5. Yeah. I played soccer like my whole life. It was my whole thing. Like, I so love soccer, but I was just never that good at it. Like, I like to think I was, but I was never like good at soccer at all.
Mate, me too.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. I just wasn't a coordinated motherfucker, I couldn't understand how to move. Like, if you watched me run, you'd be like, what the fuck, this log. But, nah, I started when I did my last season of soccer. I was in AYL.
Yeah.
It's like the one down from
Australian
Rams.
Youth League,
Yeah. I didn't even make Rams. I was that shit, to be honest. But all my friends.
I never played Rams, mate.
All my friends give me shit about that. But and I had this really shitty coach, and he just kind of like turned me off the sport.
Yeah.
So I started. I don't even know, man. Like, my dad was Irish, and he started showing me like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I remember the first fight I ever watched was Conor Floyd, and I didn't even understand.
Boxing, so not
Yeah,
MMA.
it was weird. I didn't even understand what was going on, but like I just knew.
Yeah. I think everyone.
Nah,
whether you
the first fight I remember watching the Conor Floyd, but the first fight I ever remember watching, I think I would have been like fucking like 10 or something, was Ronda Rousey and Holly Holmes in Sydney. And
was that in Sydney?
Yeah. Oh no, it was in Melbourne at Marvel.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and I don't even remember what was going on. I was a kid, but I just remember like my mum and stepdad like getting so like, and we had a few people at our house as well, and like the excitement that it brung was like no sport you've ever seen, and I just loved that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then so I don't even know. I just started watching Conor McGregor like maybe 2 years down the track when I was early stages of high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, this is so cool. And I was like, I'm doing that. And I've always been like, as a kid, I still am now, like just a rowdy little kid. Like I would wrestle my brothers all the time, wrestle my sister. Like I would just love to be not violent, but like, and I was also really competitive as well. I loved winning in things, and I loved just competing against another person.
I think in any individual sport, you need to have that competitive gene.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what I loved about fighting the most was like, in soccer, it's like, it's a team thing. And I just loved that it was like me. Yeah. And then I got good at it. And I came to the gym, obviously. My first ever class was like we're still to this day, a Monday night sparring session. And it's just a room and pretty much sort of punch on for a bit.
Even James goes, he's like, yep, I got Monday sparring.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Not a big deal, but like it's kind of the main class that everyone goes to.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just went in there and I remember looking at everyone and I was pretty nervous. Like, it's such a even me walking into like a new gym now, it's still like nerve wracking.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's just
walking
into a
guys
gym.
who have a skill set, especially in a new gym. Be walking in, you don't know their skill set. You don't know where they're
Exactly,
at.
yeah.
They could be really good or they could be on par with you.
Exactly,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
But yeah, walking into the gym is one of the hardest things in the world. So, but I did it. My mum was sitting there, and then I just started sparring. And then I remember Moe saying to me, "So he's like, you gonna come back?" And I was like, "I'm fucking going to buy gear downstairs." And I swear to God, that day, that Monday,
Yeah.
I don't think I missed a day for about 4 years. From Monday to like obviously like 1 or 2 days, like go on holidays, something like that. But my mum, like, she was like, fuck, this kid is like obsessed. And you see that so much with people. They just get obsessed with the sport. And it's just about how the self-growth makes you a better person.
Yeah.
And honestly, the sport changed me so much as a developing human. Going through like my teenage years, just giving me like a sense of just like an extra boost of confidence and like a security in myself that I was a really insecure kid. Like, I'm not saying I got bullied, but like I was, there's cunts at school where it's like, they're the one in the friend group you put shit on.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
Just because I was smaller than everyone. I was a year younger as well. I was up in the older year.
Yeah.
And I was just always the kid that everyone just gave a little bit of a hard time, but not too much where it's bullying.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I never got bullied, but like I was always, and I was a really emotional kid as well.
Yeah.
Like, I was a fucking pussy.
Mate, you sound like me.
Yeah, I'm a very soft person. It's weird. But yeah. And it just gave me so much credibility to like be able to like feel confident in myself and feel confident in spaces. But yeah, so since I answer your question, sorry, I got a bit off track.
That's all good.
So I started training in 2018 or 17, I can't remember. Yeah. My coaches didn't want me to fight. I wanted to fight like the first week.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do this, I want to compete, blah, blah, this. Took me 2 years to compete. My first ever fight was when I was 16. I was meant to do like a boxing fight, but that didn't work. And then we got offered, there was a lot of other kids my age that were all growing up. We had like a little clique of us that were all competing as well and like training together. So it was good. So we all went on this show called Beast up in Queensland, and it was a full-on MMA show.
These are the Queensland fights you were telling me about.
Yeah, the ones that aren't on my record. Yeah. So I got offered a fight against this guy that was like 3-1 as a junior. But this one was like a proper fight. So like you either compete in a junior sense or you compete properly. This one was like a proper fight, so it goes on your record, but didn't. And this guy was 3-1 and I had 0 fights.
Yeah.
And then I went in there and my coaches were kind of like, I remember they told me after, they're like, fuck, we didn't think you were going to win any of that. We thought you were going to get bashed. And I went in there and just like absolutely, like I did in my other fight, like just outclass this person. Like you can't really finish someone when you're 16 years old. Like it's pretty hard unless you submit them and stuff. But I went in there and just completely outclassed this kid. And like the feeling that I got was like,
I can imagine.
It's just an insane feeling. Like the happiness and joy it brings you. And then like the feeling of winning and having people be there and like, it's all about like fighting for people. That's what I like. I like bringing moments to other people and bringing moments to myself, but mainly for other people.
Yeah.
And the feeling that gave me, it just like, I just wanted more. So then I went back and then I had like, I've had heaps as a junior. Like I think I've done like 6 or 5 boxing fights, 3 or 4 kickboxing. Yeah. And like a lot of comps and stuff and jiu-jitsu comps. Yeah. So like so much stuff. And a lot of like sparring days that like don't go in, like so much stuff as a junior.
Because I've even been to those mat days, like
the mat sports,
the mat sports, like where they've got the Dewey mats and then you've got the gi mats.
Did you're mates with Harry or Oscar?
Yeah.
Did you go to Harry's one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't see. I saw you there. I didn't see Harry's one.
Oh, but you saw. Oh, you
because
saw.
We didn't realize he was going to get called up first. He was like,
oh yeah, I remember that. I was fucking cornering.
Yeah. And then James had one, and he got winded.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I remember that. Like, he was going good, but
he was going good.
Was I in his corner?
I think it might have been.
I think I was. Yeah.
But yeah,
I do remember that now you say that. Got caught with a bad, but he hit it well. I think
it was a kick to the fuck.
And then it was like he went to a decision, but
no. I think he just like kind of like I'm like I just can't.
But
that's once again getting off a bit of a tangent, but you talked about Beast. Obviously, you've done Wollongong Wars, and then you did Path to Hex this year as well. Yeah. Obviously, different promotions, different sort of things. Like when it comes to booking the fights and thinking about promotions and things like that, how does that sort of like stuff like differ? Like when you think about it, like, oh, I want to fight there, I want to fight there. Like,
honestly, it's fucking pretty easy, eh? Like it doesn't really matter. I have a manager.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah, which is pretty good. So he helps me book my fights. All the promotions get in contact with him. But it's honestly just like a promotion will put up a post on their Instagram saying, fight night, this date. And they'll either message, because like the scene's pretty small.
Yeah.
So like the promoter will message all gyms and be like, hey, you got new fighters. And then if they got a fighter, they might message this gym and say, hey, I got a guy this weight, this record. Do you want to fight with him? Or like they put up a post saying, fighter call out, like need someone this, someone that.
Yeah.
Or you can just get asked to be on a show, which for me right now is really good. I'm getting asked to be on shows because people want me on their shows, which is a really good feeling.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is it so at the moment there's no payment for it?
No, there's no payment. You make money. You can make money off ticket sales and tables a lot. I made a bit of money from Wollongong Wars.
Yep.
I sold a lot of tickets to that one.
That's good.
And that was the only fight that I've had in Sydney since 2022. So
your recent one, where was that?
Melbourne. They're all in Melbourne.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Right, yeah.
So the best, because Melbourne, the MMA scene's a lot bigger as well.
Okay.
So the Melbourne promotions are like a lot bigger. And the good thing is like we get flown out there. They pay for our hotels.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Pretty much live like a rock star and just go punch on, to be honest. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, no, that's good. Especially when you come away with that sweet victory. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling.
Going back to the hotel you didn't pay for, like
exactly.
type thing.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, no. What else do I have on here? Going into fight camp.
Yeah,
it's kind of one of the last main points I had. Put ourselves like in your mind, like you said, you get up weight when what do you walk around at roughly?
I'm around 78, 79.
Okay, so you cut roughly 10 kilos when you're trying to get into lightweight.
Yeah,
right?
For lightweight, yeah.
Yeah. Put us in your mind, you got 6 to 8 weeks, shed 10 kilos, put on muscle.
Yeah.
How's that all, like when you're studying opponents with video? That's another thing. But at this level, there's not much video to study when you've got other guys.
You kind of just fucking... You maybe watch like a little YouTube clip of his highlights and be like, oh, he's all right. So you kind of do that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's not much studying. Nah. So yeah, pretty much the thing is the main priority is getting to the fight.
Yeah.
Almost level with that in priorities is making the weight.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, you can miss weight and you can get catch weights, but I will never miss weight. I will always be a professional. I just don't think missing, like if you have time to make the weight, and if you can't make the weight, don't make the weight.
Yeah.
And that I probably shouldn't have made the weight for that fight that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I definitely should have pulled out. I think my testosterone levels were at like below bad. Like
is this
average.
for your
that featherweight fight? Yeah, like really.
What's the featherweight weight class?
66 kilos.
That's rough,
so yeah,
man.
that wasn't the best for me.
That is rough.
I'll send you a photo.
James fought at featherweight once.
Did he?
I think
he's a big dude. Nah, maybe not.
Maybe lightweight. Maybe I'm thinking of something because I remember he told me about.
He had a fight booked, I think.
Yeah, he did, and then he got pneumonia real bad.
Yeah, I do remember that actually. Yeah, and then he didn't train for ages after that.
Yeah,
but the process. I mean, I train year round, which is all good, which you should be doing as an amateur. Some of these guys don't, but so I train year round. I'm always fit. I'm always in shape. I don't think I've ever felt in my life out of shape. Like even right now. Like even this morning I went for a run and I felt a little bit like out of shape than I usually am, but like I'm still running. Like I can do.
I say, mate, you just got back from a holiday. Like,
exactly. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's a weird fit. I was like, if I don't notice that I'm unfit ever. And this morning I kind of like did actually a little bit, but it's all right. I'll get back to it. It takes like 2 weeks to get it back.
Yeah.
But so I'm training year round and I'm always trying to get better, obviously all the time. This sport's a lifestyle. Yeah. It's not like a seasonal thing. It's it's a year round thing. So so pretty much I'll get a promotion. We'll either reach out or we'll reach out to them and say I want to be on this promotion. Yeah. We'll put our record in, my weight, what I want to fight at, or I'll either get sent an opponent and we'll say yes to it. I've never ever in my life turned down anyone. Like I just don't see the point in it.
Is your intention to keep it that way? I guess.
I mean, when you turn pro, as an amateur, it's going to be that way. Yeah. And as a pro, it's probably going to be that way as well. When I start getting really successful, that's when you start to navigate who you're actually going to fight and you make it like more of a business strategy thing. Yeah. My thing is, I love this sport and I would do it for free. but also you can become rich as fuck off it, and that's my main priority. To be honest, yeah.
I feel like especially with the sport, with how many eyeballs it gets now. I feel like you can make more money off the mat than on the mat with what you
pretty
do.
much, yeah.
Just picking and choosing. That
but
sort of thing.
back to the fight camp stuff. Yeah. So pretty much, I'll go into a fight camp. I usually get around 6-7 weeks notice if I put it in early. So like the thing is just timing.
Yeah.
I've never taken a late notice fight. I kind of want to be honest, just so I can go in there and be like, oh fuck it, I'll fight. I don't know. It's cool to be honest. I reckon it's cool. I'm fit year round, but so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like right now, if you said go do 3-minute rounds, that's a breeze to me. Yeah. Like it might be a little bit of a push.
Is that what you're fighting when you're doing amateur?
Yeah, amateurs 3-3s. Title fights are 5-3s.
Okay.
So it's all right. It's not that bad. Pros are 5 minutes, obviously.
Yeah, 5-5s or 3-5s. Yeah,
5-5. But yeah. So 7 weeks. We start sparring on the weekends. 6 weeks out. Yep. Stop 2 weeks before, and you just up your intensity a little bit more. Yep. Like your training gets a lot harder. You do a lot of extra things, like just a lot of things. And me personally, I just go into a different mode. To be honest, I really just like the phrase like "no stone unturned" at all. Like my friends and family, if they were here, they'd tell you like I just kind of become a different person. To be honest, and it's not so much of like I used to be really bad, and this is like great about the sport that you learn lessons. I used to be like, nah, fuck this. Like you want to go do this. If it doesn't have anything to do with this date, me beating this guy, then I'm not doing it. I used to be like really ultimately tunnel vision. Yeah. But like it got to the point where I was too locked in, where I made it like too much of a pressure on myself to win this fight. And that's what I did in that camp that I lost. So I like learned a lot of lessons from that loss. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. But yeah. But even now, like my last fight, I was so locked in. But I just enjoyed my life a little bit more. Yeah. And that's obviously how I'm going to do it from now. But also like there was no other thing in the world that mattered to me more than making it to that date and winning that fight. Yeah. So you just go into like a different zone, and like when you're training as well, like right now, say if I go to training on Monday and I'm sparring, if I get tired, whatever, I'll sit around out. Like not so much that, like I'm always pushing myself.
Yeah.
But like you just have that little mental barrier in your head that says you just have to push that little bit extra because you got to know that this guy's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You talk about sparring, and that's one of the things I think with MMA that differs between fighters, like whether you want to, how much sparring you want to do in
lots
camp
of people
versus,
actually do that.
Like for instance, like you get fighters like Max Holloway who just don't spar pretty much until
exactly.
When you obviously you clearly spar, but what intensity would you say you spar at? Like 70, 80%?
So that Monday night you were talking about, that's more of a class where like you move around and you have no intention. But for our sparring on Saturday, so for camps, whenever date weeks are, so say if let's just say 7 weeks out, I'll start sparring 7 weeks out, right? So I'll spar every single weekend besides 2 weeks before the fight. Yeah. The week before I might do like a light sparring session, but the intent is to perform like a fight. Okay. And it is at 100% intensity. Okay. Pretty much we're like fighting, like we're trying to kill each other, trying to knock each other out. Like I know I am. I'm trying to knock out
Pad it up and everything?
Yeah, but like let's just say, like I've hurt a few people in sparring pretty bad, but it's that I've got hurt a few times in sparring pretty bad as well. Imagine, right? Yeah, but like we're all padded up. We wear, sometimes we wear small gloves, sometimes we wear big gloves.
Say belt splints.
Nah, not really like groin guards. Okay. Mainly just the shin pads. And no headgear. I don't really spar with headgear. Yeah. I don't really see the point in it, to be honest. Especially for MMA, it's really hard with the grappling.
Yeah, I can imagine. That makes sense. If it's kickboxing, different, right?
Yeah, we spar pretty hard, but it's only we spar hard in fight camps.
Yeah.
So you really just have to condition your body to punching. Like keep saying the word punching on, but it is just fighting. Like, and also, but you're trying to just work on the skills that you're sharpening. Yeah. So like I said, the main thing about fight camps is just sharpening your skills. Yeah. So there's not a lot of skill development. Like, it's not like you're learning new things. You're just sharpening a lot. Like, obviously, you're learning a lot more, and you're just sharpening your tools to get to this fight. Yeah? Yeah. So I'm not going to go try a new style in a fight camp. Yeah. And be like, oh, come out like this, or Flynn, let's start grappling. Like, when I haven't done any of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's more just, sharpening up your tools and getting everything ready to be prepared on that day, and doing everything you can.
Yeah. And within your own gym, would you say that there's opponents that they're like plucked, like, because you're like, oh, we want to focus more on this today. So for instance, you get a grappling dominant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, leading into heaps of my fights, it's like okay, what do we need? Is Flynn going to be grappled in this fight? Is this guy going to try and take Flynn down? Well, then we need someone that's going to try and take Flynn down a lot. Yeah. So yeah, it's not just, sometimes it's just, sometimes it's hard finding bodies as well, like people that will spar all the time. So sometimes it's just like I'll do rounds with my teammate Zach, and it's just like me and him are just pushing each other, and then it's more of like we're just sparring. Yeah. But then other times it's like, okay, Flynn, we want you to work on your takedown defense, so we're going to put you in there with a wrestler that's 2 times better than you. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah, and I think that's a good explanation. One last thing with the whole camp thing.
Yeah.
What's like hydration stuff like with
hydration?
Yeah,
mainly just water, to be honest.
No, as in like when you're rehydrating. Sorry.
Oh, the weight load. Yeah, the water cut.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, weight cutting, such a process. I fucking hate it, but I love it.
Weight cutting and rehydrating. That's right.
Okay, so
mix up my words a bit.
I can actually fucking show you some stats, eh?
Yeah.
I record all my weights because it's actually pretty smart. I'll just give you a few details.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
So I record all my weights just so I know like how to keep it common. So on Monday fight week, I woke up at 75 kilos.
Sorry, say that again.
So on Monday and fight week, I woke up at 75 kilos.
Fights on Saturday or Sunday?
This one was on Sunday.
Okay.
So it's a whole week.
6 days, right? Okay.
So that day, it's all about water loading.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get into fight week, you're just making things work for you making the weight for the water. So you go on a diet for the 7 weeks. Pretty not restricted calorie deficit, depends how hard you're cutting. Yeah. I remember that bad one that I was telling you about. I was eating like 1,400 calories a day. Man, that's horrible.
That's so bad. That's like probably half of what you
exactly.
Actually
yeah, exactly. Off, right? Yeah. But and then yeah. So fight week, it's just about restricting your food a little bit. Still eating like pretty normal. When it comes to 3 days out, that's when you start cutting back on a bit of food. Yeah. Because it's more about volume then. Yeah. And people work differently. Like I am understanding now how my body works, and I know my body better than anyone can tell me. I have a dietitian as well, and I work very well with Strive Dietitian. That's what they're called. And yeah, so it's fight week. I was doing 6.5 liters of water on Monday. Tuesday, I think I was doing 8. Wednesday, I was doing 8. Thursday, I was doing 8. And then Friday, I was maybe doing 6. So how it works is you flush your body full of water so that it pisses it back out. So what it does is, because you're drinking so much, you fucking need to pee like every 2 seconds. It's absolutely horrible. I hate it. Don't get a normal job and water load. It sucks. You need to like sit at home and water load. But so what it does is you drink all the water and then it flushes your body out pretty much. So you just keep pissing, but then your body takes a little bit extra every time, and then you drop a little bit of weight. And then you do the same thing the next day. Piss, little bit of extra, flush a little bit out. That's how I'd describe it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then fight week, not fight week, closer to fight day, you start cutting the water. So now my body thinks, okay, we're getting this consistent flow of water. That's why you have to do it for like a week. Yeah. So on, say, Saturday, I'm not drinking any water at all, which is weigh-in day. I'm not drinking any water at all, and I'm still pissing, and I'm still losing extra weight. Because every time you pee, that's weight off your body. So pretty much it's just your body just flushing itself out, and then obviously the weight cut's a big thing. Me, this time I really didn't even do a weight cut, which was like the best feeling in the world.
I can imagine.
And I made it that way because I absolutely hate cutting weight. It is the worst feeling in the world. Yeah. I've had
your best friend for that sort of thing?
Sauna?
Yeah.
No, I'm more of a bath guy.
Okay.
I had a sauna experience really bad, and I passed out in the sauna and fainted in the sauna. It was really bad. That was one where I cut a lot of bad weight as well. So it's fucking pretty unsafe, eh? Like if you don't know what you're doing, like you need someone to like be there and help you. And if you don't know, like you need to like ask someone. That's what I did. I made the dumb mistake of like not asking anyone and doing it all myself when I was younger. Like I did some pretty fucking stupid shit, like not eating for a whole week and then cutting 2 kilos. It's like stuff like that, man. So bad. I've got millions of stories. I've done it quite a bit, but you just get used to it. I honestly don't like it. I hate dieting, but like it's just part of the sport. Like, you gotta do it.
No, it's one of those things, right? It's like not even just that. It's just like any sport, but obviously more specific for weight classes and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
And my last thing I have for you, what's next? As I said, the previous interview that you did, the one that I watched on the Lucas podcast, you said your goal was Path to Hex.
Yeah.
You did Path to Hex, obviously. 2 wins in there.
Yeah.
So what's next? 2025 just ticked over. Is there any plans
So
this year?
Me and my coaches were speaking the other day. I'm starting to get pretty high in the amateur ranks.
Yeah.
My record's getting pretty good, and I'm at a pretty fucking... I like to believe I'm the best amateur in the country. Like, all weight classes, I think I'm the most skilled and most ready for pro. I spar and train with some of the best guys in the country, and I can do more than hold my own as well. So this year, I'm still 19, which is like, I'm in a tricky spot because I feel like, and my coaches feel like I'm at the skill to go pro, but just the age. This sport is like a game of time.
I was gonna say, you got to like kind of nurture your fighters.
Yeah, like it's a game of time, man. And if you push yourself too early, you might not get to the spot where you want to be, and then it sets you back a little bit. So what we're planning to do this year is definitely have at least minimum 2 fights. And I think my first fight is going to be on March 16th in Sydney, hopefully.
Oh.
Yeah, hopefully. So hopefully I'm
Save
coming.
the date.
Yeah, hopefully I'm coming back to Sydney. I haven't fought here in 5 fights, and I'm starting to get like a really, like people are starting to get around me, which is a really good feeling, and I have a lot of supporters.
Yeah.
I have a lot of sponsors as well, and I'm so appreciative of them. They help me out so much. And yeah, I'm coming back to Sydney, hopefully. Not 100% confirmed yet, but looking pretty promising for March 16th. Haven't really got an opponent yet, but might have one soon. And yeah, so that's my goal, have this fight March. I try and give myself like a 3-fight plan.
Yep.
Like no in 3 fights. So hopefully by the end of
A lot of fighters will have that.
Yeah, hopefully by the end of this year, have at least 2 fights, 2 good wins, good performances, good finishes. Not so much finishes, just good performances.
Yeah.
And I am proving that I'm getting better and I'm leveling up. 2026, I'll probably be pro. And I'll probably be straight into the pro rankings.
Yeah.
And just like that, like I had 4 fights in 12 months.
Yeah.
I do that at pro. I'm on the verge of going to the Dana White Contender Series or fighting for an Australian belt.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you talk about pro, obviously there's a lot of promotions, right?
Exactly.
You've got like Hex, One, obviously.
Exactly.
Dana White Contender Series.
Yeah, Eternal, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you turn pro, like it's scary. You have to like know that you're ready to be pro. That's why we really want to take our time and just make sure, because as soon as you get a loss on your pro record, like that's bad. You don't want that.
Especially if you've just turned pro.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's hard, but yeah, that's your money maker. So I plan to make as much money as I can with this sport, and yeah, hopefully. But yeah, that's about my plans.
Absolutely. And if there is a fight March 16, I'll be there.
My brother.
100%.
Thank you, bro.
No, it's all good.
Gang.
And thank you for coming on today. Really appreciate the chat. I feel like
it was good.
I learned a lot, and not only me, but I'm sure people listening also learned a lot, not just about your kind of fight journey, but just the fight scene in general, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Is what it is.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Thank you for tuning in to the All Access Pass, and thank you, Flynn, for coming on. And let me know if you want to see any other sort of people in the MMA scene for the next interview, and see ya.